Good evening, fuckers, and welcome to the Wasteland. Instaco115 here, and it's all said and done now. The last DLC, as you all know, came out for Black Ops 2, and I think it's time to discuss something pretty important. Was Black Ops 2 Zombies a success or a failure for the zombie community? Did it fill that gap, that zombies should fill? Did it live up to the zombie legacy? And there's a few things you have to look at. I know you got your people on one side that would say it's the greatest thing ever, and it's unbelievable. Every map was stellar. You got your people who think it's just the biggest piece of shit that ever existed, and I'm somewhere in the middle. I think there's a lot of things you got to look at. Break it down kind of. So the first thing I want to look at is the thing that's most important to me, and did it have a good story to it? Did it expand on the storyline um, the way it should have? And the answer to that part is a resounding no. It failed absolutely miserably at giving us a good storyline. Everything was well. I mean, aside from the terrible ending that I've already ranted and raved about, with it all just being a game, I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen. But aside from that, up till then, it still wasn't that. It wasn't anything special. I mean, the four characters we got were boring as hell. I mean, they didn't really add up to anything. They had no interesting backstory. Nothing really was given to us that we didn't already know. It was just there was no other than that ending that was stupid anyway. There was no like big reveal or anything, some big twist. I mean, it was just boring. We got these characters on transit and didn't learn anything else about them. As far as Mob of the Dead goes, that's actually awesome. That's the shining star in Black Ops 2, but uh, it was a completely isolated incident. But then again, it was all just part of Samantha's game. But I'm just like I said, I'm just gonna keep ignoring that and just get on with it. So it was the most epic fail ever in trying to deliver a good story for storyline people like me who really enjoy that type of stuff. Um, Failed miserably at that. So gameplay wise, though, let's give it a fair shake. Gameplay wise, Transit was shit. It was amazingly just terrible. Okay, like just awful. Like one of the worst maps ever. Terrible gameplay wise. Nuketown, was just a little bonus thing and it's fun for what it is. I find the gameplay in Dire Eyes fun. I mean, like a lot of people don't, but I enjoy Dire Eyes because of the close quarters type of stuff and the verticality of it. I enjoy Dire Eyes quite a bit gameplay wise, so gets a point there. Obviously, that it's the best map that ever came out. Um, Gameplay wise, absolutely masterpiece. Buried was okay, got a little repetitive. Uh, didn't really I don't know, like just lost its flavor after a couple weeks. And Origin's only been out a couple days, and it's pretty hard to me. A lot of people are saying it's easy. I've gotten a little better at it, but it's still a little challenging. I think there's some annoying things about the gameplay. I'm gonna do a full review of Origins pretty soon, like the style I do them in, so I can get my full thoughts out there. But for now, I think Origins is just all right. It's nothing that's blown my mind so far, but there's nothing that really pisses me off, other than the ending, of course. Um, and so I mean, it's got that going for it. So gameplay wise, it's been all right. I mean, some of the maps are a little blah, but I think that overall it's successful in at least being a pretty fun game to play. Like I always have fun playing Black Ops 2 Zombies, regardless, except on trains and it's bullshit, but everything else I at least have a pretty good time while I'm playing it. Um I mean, aside from that, there's a lot of factors you have to think of too, like, is it memorable? I mean, like, I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, like, memorable, but really, I mean, like, Ascension, even though it's not, like, one of my favorite maps, is still memorable. Kino is memorable. Like, it really, like, we almost have a weird sentimental value to those maps, to Doris and all that. We have a sentimental attachment to those maps, and that's, I think, the number one problem I think Black Ops 2 really has is that it didn't leave me with like that real sentimental attachment to it. I know it sounds so weird to say like a video game is like sentimental to you, but it is. And if it makes sense to you, then you get it. If you don't, you just don't. But Black Ops 2 just failed at it. Like I don't know. It doesn't stick with me like I wouldn't miss it if it never existed. You know what I mean? Like it's just not that memorable to me. So overall, I think the judgment I'm gonna give Black Ops 2 Zombies is a bit of a failure. It makes me sad to say too, but because I don't hate the game or anything, I think that it did some things right, but overall, it just didn't fill that hunger. Like I've talked about this in like 100 different videos. That point when MW3 was the thing, and us zombie people were just starving after Moon, and we just wanted to sink our teeth into like something amazing. It feels like we just got a bit short. That's just my opinion. Like I said, there's people on both sides of it. I'm sure there's people who are going to tell me it's like the best game. There's going to say people who tell me that they did nothing right. Um, but oddly enough, like I said, it still did give us the best map ever. And Mob of the Dead is the greatest map ever, hands down. But other than that, it's just very blah. So that's my thoughts on it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments, and peace.